So the purpose of this webinar is to enable you, you are the formulator, to formulate some exceptional lip balm product. Of course, it's not only for formulator. This information very valuable to R&D people, product development, marketing, sales, to know what else we could add to the lip balm market. And that's the purpose. So we develop multiple technologies, which we start to introduce them to you today. There will be several sessions on technologies for lip balm. After, we'll talk about the science, the aspect of skin physiology, structure, what's different between the lip and the skin. Once you understand all these features, you will be able to create new kind of product. And that's exactly what we want and where we want to support you. And eventually we'll show you some formulation, actually formulation from our lab, thanks to our product development team. And we'll show you how to formulate and how to avoid issues and troubleshooting in the process itself. So stay tuned, because you're going to learn something unique. I think Salvona is the only company that has this type of technologies that could really change the market of lip. So what is the, let's start with understanding what's the difference between a lip and a skin, regular skincare. Can we use the same kind of technology and concept and so on? So in this demonstration here, you can see a typical substructure of the skin. We have the top layer, which we call the epidermis, and the stratum corneum is the top of the epidermis. Below it, we have the dermis. And you see that we have a hair follicle and a sebaceous gland, and this is typical to our skin. There are very few parts of our body which they don't have hair. One of them is the lip. So this is now on the right side showing you a cross-section of the lip skin. The lip barrier, the top, the stratum corneum, is so much thinner than the regular skin. And then in the lips, we don't have sebaceous gland. So out of understanding this, there are major issues that when we plan to develop new product, we should be aware and utilize the knowledge to benefit our customers. So number one, because of the thin stratum corneum, the skin is very sensitive. It's sensitive to dryness, to light, radiation, and to many chemicals. There is no hair, I said, which means there is no sebaceous glands secretion. There is no way to moisturize now our lips. On the skin, we continuously release sebum, which moisturizes naturally our skin. We don't have this on the lips. That's why we always think about how to moisturize our lips. And then there is no melanin in our lips. Totally, there is no melanin. Actually, the lips are translucent. And what you see, the color that you see, is the blood vessel below the top layers of the skin. So because we don't have melanin, we are very sensitive to radiation and sun. Therefore, we should provide protection. So what is the lip color that we see on people, on our faces? So the lip color is not really a pigment added. It's the color of the red blood cells that are flowing underlying under skin. So this is why we have the color. We want to intensify the color. We have technologies for this, and we'll talk about this in one of our next future webinars. Technology called MultiSal Lip Vantage will able to have the lips swell a little bit and definitely get the color. So this is a way to enhance the appearance of the lips in a natural, very much natural way. Now, how about dry lips? What do we provide for dry lips. And the dryness of the lips and cracked lips could come either because of the weather or because of exposure to overexposure, let's say, to radiation, to sun, wind, licking too much. I don't want to say kissing too much, but the technology that could help us is MultiSal Lip Hydrate, which we will talk again in the future. So there are many things that are in the pipeline, and this webinar is only the beginning. Just stay tuned because you will learn more. For example, how to extend shiny lips. Shiny lips give a feel of slippery and smooth, and how can we do it? With a special technology that's called MultiSal Shine. MultiSal Shine is already available and you can check it out on our website. But we will talk more about how does it work. It's, in principle, extended the delivery of silicones in principle. So how can we expand the skincare benefits into lip care? And we're using a technology that's called MultiSal. And MultiSal is unique because in MultiSal, it's a fine powder and we can encapsulate all kinds of ingredients. Functional ingredients either that are water soluble or oil soluble. But the big deal in lip balm, because lip balm are made of waxes, is that we are enabling to incorporate water-based products that typically were used in skincare, such as vitamin C. Vitamin C comes out as a powder, pretty gritty to put on the skin. If you dissolve it in propylene glycol, then add the propylene glycol to the lip balm will make the lip balm soft. However, MultiSal vitamin C or MultiSal lactic acid or glycolic acid or MultiSal with algae or algae extract or any kind of botanical extract now enables you to enhance your choices and technologies that you could use for lip balm. So you can see lip balm with antioxidants like lip repair. You can see, and then different type of antioxidants that are incorporated. Sometimes it's a combination of vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin C. You can add a small amount into the lip. With the technology, you can definitely add a higher amount, which makes the lip perform much better. And even anti-aging lip enhancers with the combination of these ingredients. So this is an enabling technology that you can easily use in a certain percentage and change your marketing position and provide additional value to your customers. So what is the technology? The technology is called MultiSal. And MultiSal is based on microspheres in a diameter of about 20 to 40 micron. And MultiSal is based on a core and a shell. The core is made out of multiple submicron spheres, and then they are all encapsulated in a shell structure. The major features of this technology is it provides very good protection. Protection from premature release, protection from heat, because you're going to use functional ingredients in hot melt. This technology enables you to protect the material from the heat. It also enables triggered release, and the triggering factor is water. I explain a little bit more in a few minutes. Water is able to dissolve the shell, and at that moment, the submicron sphere can be released. So only with water, you can break the particle, not by mixing and not by typical heat. It's very stable particle. They can stay integrated into the balm and on the shell for a long time. Once it's released, the release of the ingredients takes time, okay? So you get a sensory benefit or another benefit over a long time. And it's all water-free, which means you don't need any preservative and it's stable for a long time. How does it look like under the scanning electron microscope? You can see here an image. showing the capsule and the inside spheres. This is completely covered by Salvona Technology patents, and you can here see the patent here. So this is a proprietary technology, and the technology is based on using MultiSal and releasing it in two phases. Phase number one, as you can see here, this is the image of MultiSal with the submicrons inside. What's triggering the release is water. Water will break down the shell. The shell will allow the submicron sphere to be released. These submicron spheres are lipid. They will stick to the skin, integrate into the skin, and then slowly release. So what you have is a triggered and time release technology. And that's the beauty of MultiSal. Now let's see how it's happening in reality. And for example, I want to show you MultiSal Menthol. Menthol, you know, it's coming as crystals. As crystals, very difficult to use in a typical formula. So what we do is we first encapsulate the menthol into submicron spheres, and these submicron spheres are then re-encapsulated in a microsphere. It seems complicated, maybe it seems even expensive, but let me tell you up front, for us, it's not complicated to make, and the price is very reasonable for a quality product such as this. So this is produced in large volume, therefore it is not expensive for this kind of product. So let's come back to understand this technology. We have a shell. The shell protects from premature release. The shell is needed to break down by water before the submicron can release. The submicron are able to adhere and sustain the release for a longer time. That's all needed to understand before we move on. To understand how does it work? I'm telling you all this structure, I'm showing you SCM, but does it really perform? So I show you two features that are very relevant to this business. One of them, can it stand heat? Can you put it in the melt? Will it be stable? So in order to determine this, we use a machine that's called DSC and TGA, and this machine can measure the loss here, the y-axis, as a function of temperature. So it's a kind of analytical balance that you put your sample and you can measure the changes, the minor changes in weight. So we compared free menthol compared to MultiSal menthol. And you know that menthol, very volatile. So if you look at the red line, you see when we increase the temperature at about 80 C, it becomes very volatile and we lose almost everything by the time we get to 120 C. However, when we use MultiSal, MultiSal is almost stable, constant stable. There is a few degrees, a few percent of the menthol is released. Typically, this is the surface menthol, but you can cook it 160 C, you can bake it, and you barely lose the content, even of very volatile. And we took the most volatile, like menthol, but you can think about flavors that are volatile, fragrances that are volatile, and many other ingredients that are volatile. So this is a very good technology to stabilize volatile ingredients and increase their resistance and stability while in high temperature. So MultiSal enabling heat resistant and increase the dose. You can increase the dose of material within the lip balm and it will not make the lip balm soft. For example, you can use silicone at a much higher concentration that you can do now, and therefore you can get long-lasting shine, long-lasting softening effect. So this is basic benefit. And then you may not need to move into other more expensive containers. But even in any kind of container, you can use oils or water-based product and get better heat resistant. It will stay in the car, even in California in the summer, and it can increase the dosage without softening the base, which is very important. for formulators. The other feature that is critical in our game is the ability to release. So holding back is the stability, but if it doesn't release, we don't have a good product. How do we trigger the release? And in this case, it's obvious it's with water. You see, this is the intensity of the release from a dry product, if you put it on the lips, and this MultiSal that you wet a little bit, like you lick your lips. That's enough suddenly to increase the potency of the product significantly. So MultiSal technology allows you to trigger the release with moisture. That means that you can use it for multiple applications, and I will come back and show you a few. This is MultiSal in a base, such as a lip balm base. But MultiSal technology can also be used in a variety of deodorant sticks, okay? In soap bars, they are all waterless products. Any kind of waxy mold, lipstick, color cosmetics, and so on. MultiSal is ideal. In addition, talc, body powder, and of course, any kinds of paper or fabric-based products that are typically dry. Remember, only water can trigger the release, not the heat. Okay, once we understand this, let's see what we are going to focus today. Today, we're going to talk only about flavors and sensory benefits. Sensory that one can see maybe and taste. The first one is MultiSal Flavor. MultiSal Flavor, list of flavors are available on our website. The whole idea is that we have a MultiSal structure like this, and the flavor is encapsulated inside the core. So this ability of MultiSal is to convert any kind of liquid into powder. Much easier to handle. You can easily weigh out and pour as much as you want. And there is no issue of inflaming of products. So it's safer, not only just easy to handle. So it's easy to produce, it's easy to blend because wax and the powder will be compatible easily. And this is a major benefit in production of scale. And during this encapsulation or using this encapsulation, you significantly reduce the loss of volatile top notes. You can take a very good perfume or flavor. What makes it juicy and nice and flavory is the top. The top notes are critical. The top notes are characterized with low melting point. In other words, they evaporate at a lower temperature. But if they are encapsulated, you are able to retain them. And that's how you keep fresh flavors stay for longer. And of course, release them only when you lick your lips or we expose to water. And the particle itself, the microsphere, are able to harden the balm. So if you use a lot of oils, you want to make some natural balm, the MultiSal, which is a natural product, will enable you to enhance the heat resistance and stability. Of course, the release is always triggered by water. So there are multiple standard products on our website, but you can also ask us to incorporate one of your flavors. We put it under custom encapsulation. Straightforward, there is a page on the website, tell us what you want. We will look at this and we'll come back to you. We'll be happy to work with you to make your own custom flavors. So MultiSal for lip balm, if we focus on this, there are various relations or various forms. We can release the simple one flavor and release it and make it fresh, juicy, and so and so. But there are other things that this technology can deliver, which are unique to this technology. And what are they? Number one, you can use two flavors. You can use one flavor encapsulated in the shell, like you see the red dots, encapsulated only in the shell. And the second flavor in the core. Okay? So you can now provide a new story by releasing two different flavors, chocolate, vanilla. strawberry and chocolate, and so on. And they release one after the other in a consecutive manner. And now you can open your imagination of what you could do in the world of lip balm with this technology. The consecutive release is what makes MultiSal unique. I already know that there are many blends of flavors. There are, but they are blended together. Here we can actually separate the release. And I show you another option that you can use. In addition to the flavor, here you can see two different flavors, like strawberry is in the outer shell. You see how the strawberry turned into particles into the shell, and the tangerine, it goes inside the core. So as a result, what will happen? First, you will, once you approach it with water, you release the strawberry. The strawberry will be gone, and then the tangerine will kick in. And that's what's unique about two flavors or MultiSal with flavor and cooling. First, you have a flavor, and then you have a freshening to the lips. This is another option, and there are many products of MultiSal flavor cooling on our website, and you can choose from. Or we would like to do your custom design. You see all these flavors that I found on the internet, there are blends, pepperoni, pizza, they are blend, but we could do just the pepperoni and just the dough, for example, so people can feel the change. Or French fries, you can have the flavor of the French fry, and you can have a salty or sour, typically salty sensation as well. So we really can enhance the whole world of lip balms. In flavor cooling, we like the flavor cooling a lot because this gives multiple benefits. You see, the shell could have any flavor you would like. It could be a citrus, vanilla, chocolate, imagination. And the core, you see the flavor on the shell, the core could be a cooling, refreshing. It could be either encapsulated menthol or another component that's called SalCool. Menthol is very potent and has an odor. SalCool doesn't have an odor, and it's much more milder, refreshing effect. This is the difference between MultiSal with menthol and MultiSal with SalCool. Okay, now I opened up, I hope, a little bit of your imagination. And I want to continue. How you make a balm with a flavor that feels so juicy. So the key is not just to encapsulate the top notes of the flavor, which is key. If you don't have the top note, the freshness of the citrus, let's say, okay, or the pineapple, or whatever it is, you don't have the top note, you don't have the freshness sensation, the juicy of like a freshly squeezed fruit. We also add another technology which has to do with the sweetness. So MultiSal Sweet, we use it in order to enhance the flavor. You will feel the flavor longer as long as the sweetener will work. So there is a value just to encapsulate the sweetening agent. This is such as sucralose, but could be other sweetening agents that you may want to use. We can do that. So it's important to have the sweeten effect because it enhances the flavor. That's why in many kind of cooking, you add sugar to enhance the flavor. Sometimes you add salt or acid to enhance the flavor. The same thing can happen here. Encapsulating of acid, sour, encapsulating of salty, sweet is one of them. So this is how you make the flavor juicy. How you make the flavor fresh, I already showed you menthol and SalCool. Now the release of flavors are fantastic as a fun product, but sometimes we can make it into a more practical and higher value item to the consumer. For example, to suppress the appetite, or maybe to activate the appetite, depends what is the case. But most of the people are concerned about suppressing the appetite, give you a feeling that you're full and you don't need to eat. So we know from the literature, from the science, that there are multiple flavors that can help you to suppress the appetite. For example, citrus note. Citrus note known to reduce, suppress the appetite. So you have it on your lips, maybe it will reduce your appetite and you can lose weight. Green tea, also linked to weight loss. Caffeine is known to boost your energy. Okay, it starts with the lips, but the caffeine is being released to all your body and it's accelerate the blood flow and energy. And very nice to make it. And you see here a product, Appetite Curb Balm. Okay, so there are other products in the market that utilize this knowledge. Now there are other actives that are not flavors, like chromium picolate is another active that helps to burn fat, could be incorporated in the lip. Hudea is a herb suppressing the appetite. So people believe that the active can do whatever it can do, and now we have a way to incorporate it in the lip balm. So now you can have very practical, useful lip balm. We open the market for creativity. That's what we do. Now, so let's move on. Now we know that we have a lip balm. What can we do with this? The most important critical information is how to store MultiSal. Listen to this.
MultiSal Technology is available as a fine powder. It is typically packaged in a sealed bag to protect it from any moisture coming in contact with the powder. It is important to keep the MultiSal dry and free-flowing to prevent it from agglomeration. However, in case you do see agglomeration, you can further grind the MultiSal until it becomes a fine powder.
Wonderful. So we are moving on from science into the technology, and now we are at the part that we talk practicality, how to use it. This is the value of our webinars. So we gave you a major issue, which is the stability. You have to keep it dry and protected from water. You know why? Because water, humidity can activate it. Okay, now let's look at the formula, how you formulate a lip balm with MultiSal.
Keep the balm base mixed at a temperature of 60 to 80 degrees Celsius until it's completely melted in liquid. Weigh out the amount of MultiSal you will need to formulate the balm. We recommend a dosage of 2 to 5%. The actual amount will depend on the type of functional ingredients and the required dosage. You may need to run several experiments to determine the optimal dose you need for your specific application. Add the MultiSal powder gradually to the base as it is mixed to ensure it is dispersed homogeneously. The MultiSal will disperse homogeneously in the base while mixing it gently and keeping the base liquid. If you are formulating with two types of MultiSal, make sure the first one is completely dispersed and then add the second. Always add the powders gradually to the mixture.
That's it. Very simple, exciting, straightforward. Just first of all have the melt and move on. So production issues that may come up when you start to do MultiSal in a lip balm. There could be several issues, and I would like to let you know up front. First of all, you have to make sure that the high MultiSal, you store the MultiSal in dry environment. I would even recommend sometimes to put it in the oven, to put it about 45 C, 50 C, it's okay, nothing is going to happen. Actually, it will keep it dry and will prevent agglomeration. I'm focusing on agglomeration of the beads because you don't need much water to cause them agglomeration. When they are agglomerated, the problem is they can feel gritty on your lips. Now, if you want to say that this grittiness is part of the exfoliation process, it's fine. But if you want to eliminate or reduce the grittiness totally, then you have to know how to handle it. So the solution is homogenization. You can homogenize the whole melt with MultiSal without no concerns at all, because as long as it's hot but no water in the base, you can homogenize and try to break down the agglomeration of the MultiSal to the single level. And always keep it mixed and prevent any contact with water. Heating is critical. Now, cooling is also critical. Critical because you want the MultiSal to be dispersed homogeneously in the lip from the top to the bottom. Therefore, the base has to be able to suspend the particles, and the cooling has to be pretty rapid to solidify the balm and will not allow the particles to reach the bottom. Sedimentation could be an issue if the balm has very low viscosity. Okay, so in order to overcome the low viscosity is to cool it faster. So this is the instructions about how to solve the problem. Now you see here how we do it in our lab.
If you see that there are agglomerations of the microspheres in the base, you can melt the base and use a homogenizer to mix in the particles of the blend. Use the homogenizer for several minutes until the MultiSal agglomerates separate and break down. The power and temperature will not break the microspheres. The end result will be a smooth lip balm.
Very good. So I'll be showing you this for you to save time. And reduce the number of trial and error. Now let's move into the manufacturing of the MultiSal.
For lab preparation, you can take the hot melt and pour it gently into a frame with the right shape to mold your balms. Let it cool down and solidify before you remove the lip balms from the frame. If conditions are available, you can cool it in a refrigerated environment.
Okay, that's the whole story of how to use MultiSal in any type of formulation. Now, experience. Claudia, we asked Claudia. She knows a lot about lip balms. That's why we asked her.
This is a great lip balm. My lips feel smooth and moisturized. Every time I wet my lips, I get more refreshing juice flavor. Very delicious.
Okay, this is the expert, Claudia. Okay, product of this nature has to be optimized, of course. And now I would like to come to the final line because my time is over and give you a short summary of what we had in this short webinar. First of all, you learned about the structure of the skin compared to the lip. What's the issues with the lip? Now, if you want to help people to feel better about their lips and to repair issues, you are making different type of lip balms, and we are offering you to use the MultiSal. And at this point, we focused on MultiSal flavors. We just mentioned that there are other aspects of MultiSal, and we will review them in our next webinars. This one, we just mentioned that we have MultiSal Flavor, MultiSal Flavor Cooling, or MultiSal Flavor, MultiSal Menthol, and MultiSal SalCool. This is all about refreshing, cooling sensation. And of course, we have the MultiSal Suite, which is another technology that can help you with the process. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me to talk to you and share with you a little bit of our knowledge, and hopefully that will make you more successful in enjoying your life and your business. Thank you very much.